And welcome back to another episode of Life in Prison. As always, my name is Zach. So unfortunately, I spent 5 years of my life in maximum security prison, West Virginia, up at Mount Olive Correctional Complex and Huntsville Correctional Center. Since returning, I've went and got my medical degree, and I'm currently working in urgent care, helping others who unfortunately cannot help themselves. So what I do is speak about my time while I did prison time, along with doing interviews with inmates still locked up in prison, regardless if it's for murder, spitting a life sentence, drugs, thieving, stealing, anything and everything except for pedophilia, just showing you what it's actually like living life in prison. You can shoot guns, you can sell dope, you can steal things, but at the end of the day, it's going to get you a 7x12 by yourself, and you are not going to be having any more fun. I can promise you that. I do not condone or praise violence. What I simply do is show individuals the other side of the line. So today, what we're going to be talking about is prison cellmates. What you're going to end up getting involved with. Whenever you go down to jail or prison, you're going to eventually have a cellmate. So you do not get to pick your cellmates, unfortunately. So what I want you guys to do is go ahead, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already had it, hit that bell notification so you'll be first informed when I upload. A lot of facilities is you can pick your cellmates as long as you have a little bit of power, as long as the COs like you. Most instances, you're stuck with whoever they put you with. And unfortunately, sometimes it can be some old stinky dude coming in with withdrawals, farting and stinking up the whole cell. Sometimes you can get stuck with someone who ends up stealing from you. Sometimes you can get stuck with someone who's loud and obnoxious. Having a prison jail cellmate really boils down to mutual respect. Most jails and prisons are classified a little bit differently. In most jails, you're going to have a cellmate. Now, in prison, the way that prisons are set up, completely different everywhere you go. Some prisons are set up that you have no cellmate at all, absolutely not. Or some you might have one cellmate, you might have two, up to 100 cellmates. Sometimes you're not even in a cell. You might be in an open dorm or in a gym. We've seen over and over in many prisons before that people end up sleeping on the floors in gymnasiums because they have no more cells open or available. That is gonna suck. See, unfortunately, if you have a cellmate, right? This is all the bad things that can go wrong. One, your cellmate does not respect you and they stink. They do not shower. I know we've all met the people that are in jail who just don't shower, right? They think that going to the shower is an abomination, so they just bomb out. Not only that, they don't choose to put on deodorant. Luckily for me, whenever I was in jail, getting up to go to prison, my first cellmate, young dude from Baltimore, Starlito, was a dope boy, got caught with 85 grams of heroin up in Martinsburg, right? Ended up catching a Fed case. So luckily for me, we were both around the same age. We were young, early 20s, and we respected each other, you know what I'm saying? No matter where he was from, where I was from, we respected each other, you know? If you had to fart, make sure you go out the cell, or make sure you sit on the toilet and flush it. That way it sucks the fart down into the sewer stream. Cleanliness. You gotta think, even if you clean your cell every day, right? Spray it with bleach and all this disinfectant. If your cellie is dirty, there's been plenty of times where I've seen half the cell be clean and the other half is just a mess. Then you get scabies. If your cellie is not clean, being in jail and prison, whenever scabies outbreaks, it runs rampant because you got so many dirt balls who run around that do not shower. Make sure if you're someone's cellie, you shower on a daily basis because it is not something that you want to have scabies or have bed bugs. So prisons are disgusting, especially jails, because you got people coming in and out all the time. Prison, you're there for the long haul, so you want to make sure that the people that you're around are cleanly people. So most of the time in jail, if you're a PC, if you're a snitch or a baby toucher, you're either going to be in the small ass pod or in the hole, just because they don't have enough room for you in the regular pods for you to be safe. A lot of these dudes, they're disgusting individuals. So having one of these guys as your cellmate is not something that it's not going to go for. Now, a lot of the jails and stuff, they'll end up getting extorted. You know what I'm saying? Prison's a little bit different. They're not going to go for that. So they keep them in packs away from each other so that your cellmate is not a fucking baby toucher. Being in jail and having a cellmate is a little bit different than being in prison and have a cellmate, because in jail, you're not going to be there that long. You're either going to be going home or you're going to be going to prison, either or. Now, once you get to prison, most of the time you're going to have a little long haul. So you're going to want to make sure that you and your cellmate can program together. Pretty much you guys get up at the same time, you guys do the same things pretty much, right? So as long as you guys are clean, as long as you stay militant, get up, do what you need to do, you're not going to have an issue in your cell. It's very rare seeing two different types of races in a cell, especially being in a maximum security prison. The reason being is because politics. At the end of the day, it boils down to politics. If you're white, if you're black, most likely you're going to be part of a different organization or gang, especially up on a gang unit. So they're not going to start mixing races. I've seen different types of gangs in a cell, yes. Different races, no, but different gangs in a cell. Being up on a gang unit, a lot of times individuals will ask for specific people to be in their cell, and a lot of times it goes. You know what I'm saying? As long as you do what you need to do, you stay out the CO's hair, they'll accommodate your wishes, right? But if you're one of these dudes that ends up creating a lot of issues, if you ask for someone specific in your cell, most likely it's going to be a no. Luckily for me, while I was up at Hudsonville, I didn't have to worry about a cellie because I was a single cell my whole time, about 4 years there. Now the year that I was up at Mount Olive, that's a little bit different. The person that was in my cell had already been down in prison for over 30 years. They put me in there for a reason because I was a hothead and I had gotten in a lot of trouble. So they put me in an old man cell to take care of him and calm him the fuck down, which eventually ended up happening. I didn't catch any write-ups while I was up there. Then again, they also did ship me up out of there just because of the small time that I had. Because Mount Olive, most of the time up there, it's anyone with 10 years or more, as in 10 years or they're never going home. That's the type of prison that Mount Olive is. It's big boy time. So with me having a 1 to 10, they took me up there because the lower other prison apparently couldn't handle me, so they shipped me up there, and right before I was about to discharge, they moved me back, straight back into my single cell, thank God. So with being level 5 is your security risk, your threats, there's a bunch of different things that can get you to level 5. Escape charges, violence, you know what I'm saying, getting caught with drugs, that can boost up your classification. With me, it was escape charges and my gang ties that kept me to level 5, which I'm happy I was stayed at level 5. Honestly, I thought that maximum security prison was pretty well. From what I've heard from lower classification prisons, obviously there's a lot more freedom, but with me having my single cell, I very much enjoyed that my whole ride. Now say you have a cellie that ends up getting high all the time, right, and creating debts. I've seen a lot of people get beat up just because their cellie is the one that racked up debts and they thought that, hey, I should stick up for my cellie, and they end up getting beat up too because they won the stick their neck out for a cellie who was no good and who kept racking up dope debts, right? You don't want to do that. Plus, you also want a cellie that's smart. So if you guys are smoking in your cell, obviously you're not allowed to smoke in prison. So making sure that the CO is not going to smell it is top priority. So putting stuff around the door jamb, toilet paper, putting bleach, shampoo with a rag so you can smoke through it so it doesn't smell. You want to make sure that your cell doesn't get hit. If you have a cellie that's pretty much a crash dummy who does a bunch of dumb stuff and doesn't care, then you're now going to get in trouble. Because say he has a knife laying out, right, and you're not aware of it. Now the COs come in that cell, both of you go in a hole because of that one item, right? Now if he doesn't take charge of that and fess up to it, now both of you guys are going to get charged for it. Having a cellie that is also a convict at the end of the day in prison is key. You don't want a dummy as a cellmate. I'd say personally top worst type of cellie is one that steals from you, right? And one that stinks. Because you never want to leave out your cell having to worry if your cellie is going to steal your stuff. Not only that, you don't want to have a cellie who, when you walk in the room, it smells like a bag of farts have been just lofting in there all day. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you and your cellie are definitely compatible because you are going to be living with this individual. That is your home now until you get out of prison. Sometimes people don't, but that's going to be your home. So you want to make sure your roommate is compatible with how you want to do your time. Obviously having a cellie who's hitting on the pack, right, who's in with the CO, there's obviously going to be perks and benefits for that type of stuff. I had one cellie who was messing around with the CO one time. This is the regional jail, and when I say he was messing around, like he was fucking the CO out on the dock, bringing in black miles, bringing in weed, bringing in anything he wanted. The only thing is, you couldn't tell anybody about it. Obviously, you don't want to get your spot knocked off, but I'm not going to lie, it was definitely a benefit having a cellmate who was getting in the free pack. I got to smoke for free, I got to eat for free, as long as you keep the house clean and you don't blow the spot up and have all your little homies come around here blowing the shot up, like, shit, you good. Now, for anybody out there, have you guys ever experienced the worst cellie? If you have, go ahead and leave it in the comment. I want to hear what the worst cellie you guys have ever had. Did he steal from you? Was he a dirtball or a rat ball? Did he smell? Or was he a crash test dummy and was just getting you guys hit all the time? Go ahead and put that in the comment below. If you haven't already done it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button so you'll be first informed when I upload. This was just a short video on prison cellies. It can either be good or it can be bad. If you haven't already done it, go ahead and check out Stone Collective Supply Company over on Instagram. My buddy Caleb's still booming with the drops. Go ahead and check out his merch. It is fire as always. StoneCollectiveSupply.com is the website where you can find all the hottest merchandise. Go ahead and check them out. Caleb, I fucking love you, bro. I appreciate you guys' support, and I hope you guys end up coming back for more. As always, I send my utmost love, loyalty, respect. Keep your head up. Keep pushing positivity. I hope you guys come back for more. We gone.